Hi, I'm Steve Cram, and I'm very proud to be a Great North Care Record Ambassador. Today has been really important. We're trying to take the next steps to develop the Great North Care Record, and it's had a good start, but obviously COVID then interrupted everybody's lives. And I came on as ambassador. Today was about kind of helping the other ambassadors who've come on board to try and, first of all, understand where I'm coming from, and encourage them to go out and spread the message as much as we possibly can. That's, it's really important that we all try and make sure that Great North Care Record, after the great start it's made, continues to grow and develop, because it's a fabulous thing. It's going to make a massive difference to healthcare and social care in the North East. I often get involved in things, or I often get asked to do things, and kind of, where's my connection to that? Where this one was pretty straightforward. We've all used the NHS. If we've been lucky enough to have help from the NHS over the years, but my mum and dad, like most older people, as their lives went on, were in and out of hospitals and things. And particularly my dad's experience at the back end of his life was not a. It was a frustrating one. We kind of lived between two authorities, South Tyneside and Gateshead. He often would go from sometimes be in one hospital, then in another. His healthcare and his social care were seemed as though they were two separate things, and actually they should have been much more interlinked. And the frustration came from having to constantly tell people about my dad's medical history. What had happened to him. He carried pretty much clinical depression right through from when he was in his mid-30s. He'd been on medication for 40-odd years, and yet every time he went to a hospital or in the care home, they didn't know that. And it was almost like he was starting from scratch every single time, and which was frustrating for me, frustrating for the family, but for him in particular, it kind of wore him down a little bit as well. So that experience made me think, why is that the case? Surely in this modern world of technology, somebody can't just log on and go, right, Mr. Cram, I can now see what your medical history is and how that will help us to give you better care right now, right here. Sharing of that information and creating the right database to enable that to happen is something which I'm more than happy to support. It's been great to hear how things are moving and developing. It's grown pretty quickly. The ambassadors, they're the ones. Some of them here are very much on the front line and seeing how it's impacting on the patient first of all, which is the most important thing. But secondly, how it's making their jobs easier, if that's the right way of describing it, making them to be more, or helping them to be more effective. I think that's the most important thing. So there was a great example listening of somebody who's, a patient had not turned up for an appointment, which was unusual, didn't know why. Actually being able to go onto the care record, the patient was registered on there, realising that they'd been admitted somewhere else with an emergency, and then the kind of ongoing care from that, we're able to kind of pick that up. And that's a great example from one of the ambassadors of how it works in practice and how it should work. So hearing their stories and also, all of us collectively understanding that the more people we have talking about it and sharing the concept and giving people confidence that in an everyday setting it works, then the faster it will grow, which will benefit everybody. I think it's understandable that people may have concerns about who has their data and who is sharing that. I think in this world that we all inhabit these days, an awful lot of people are actually used to sharing a lot more personal information than they probably realise, whether it's on Facebook or their buying habits, their eating habits. All of that now is information about them, which actually isn't going to necessarily help them. It's a lifestyle thing. This is just the same, but it's actually something for you. It's something that's going to help you if you ever have to come to use the NHS and all the other services that can be provided for you. And I think that's the key thing, is to get people to understand, look, this isn't about, kind of wanting to use your data for something else. This is about, that's your data, but we want the right people to be able to access it quickly and in an effective way, that if you need it, you're going to be able to get much better treatment and not have some of the frustrations that I experienced with my family a few years ago. So, I think we are used to using technology, and trusting the technology is important, and it has to work, and we've shown that it does. And actually, COVID, I think, has shown an awful lot of us that when technology is used in the right way, everything from the test and trace system to, I travel a lot, and I've got my vaccination record is on my phone. I show that when I travel. It makes my job easier, but it gives assurances to those in and working in the areas I'm going into, that I'm a safe person to come into that. So we've got used to it, but it would be great to use that in a kind of wider context. So I understand people's reservations, but I think I'd say, look, this is something which is only going to benefit you. The thing I've understood about an organisation like the NHS or the social care providers, whatever, is that at the end of the day, they're people, okay? And that's who we trust. Sometimes people don't want to trust a system, but they will trust people. They have confidence in doctors and nurses and other practitioners, people who work in care homes and things. That's where the relationships are built. So actually, our ambassadors, those people are the ones who they will listen to. So for the general public to get confidence in Great North Care Record, it is going to require more ambassadors, if you like, people who work in the system and use it on a regular basis, to keep talking about it. Because I think, despite the fact that everybody these days seems as though they get their information from the internet or from social media, I think most people trust personal recommendation more than anything else, particularly if it's coming from people in this sector. I think if I was talking to ambassadors in the sense of in a wider role, it would just be tell people your experiences. I think COVID has actually made the public more acutely aware, if they weren't already, of what people's daily lives are like in terms of delivering care, be it healthcare, social care, and there's a better understanding of that. And also I think a little bit of a better understanding that we've got to take some responsibility as well as individuals in the general public. So I'd say to the ambassadors, look, people are with you on this, so don't be frightened to kind of tell people why it makes it's not about making their lives easier, their jobs easier. It's making them more effective, and that we both win in the end. The general public wins, and the people who have a tough enough job as it is anyway, that it makes their life a little bit easier as well.